Hey folks, I'm Andrew from Award Consulting, and today I want to share a short video discussing the benefits of setting up a SIP trunk to somebody like bandwidth.com or Inteliquent to receive DIDs from outside your regular service area. Now, for some of you, you've been doing this for years, in which case there's probably not a lot of extra value for you here. But if you're a fairly traditional ILEC or CLEC, then you'll have some owned number blocks in particular rate centers where you can provide service, and you'll likely also be familiar with porting numbers into your LRN from neighboring rate centers, so that you have a kind of a geographic footprint of areas where you can provide service. But sometimes what happens is you may want to provide service further afield. Perhaps you have a multi-location business where there's one office, maybe the head office within your service area, but then they also have some satellite offices which you can't reach, and they would love to be able to get service from you for all of their phone numbers at all of those offices. Now, if you set up a SIP trunk to somebody like Bandwidth or Inteliquent and are configured to receive DIDs from them, then this allows you to do that. So these companies, they typically have number blocks in a bunch of rate centers across the country, not every single one, but a large number of them. And what they can do is, if you need a number in one of those number blocks, then they can assign even as little as one number to you, and you can receive calls to that number over that SIP trunk. So you would build that line on your switch, even though it's the only line you have in that rate center, and any inbound calls would arrive over that SIP trunk, and you could deliver them to that line. Now, if you have, in our example, an existing business who has some numbers that they want to port to you, then instead of porting them to you, they would actually port those numbers to Inteliquent, say, and so calls to that number would get delivered to Inteliquent, who would then know that you are fulfilling that service, and so they would route them to you over that SIP trunk, and again, you have that line built on your switch. This is a bit of a different model to what you're used to, but it's pretty cool because it allows you to provide that service outside of your service area. And the financials work a little bit differently, because traditionally you might have capital costs and setup costs if you wanted to expand your service area, which could be quite significant. Whereas with this model, you can literally add one DID in a particular area, in a particular rate center, and you have to pay typically a monthly fee per DID, and then you pay for all minutes incoming and outgoing over that trunk, even if they were local calls, but obviously you are not local. So you do end up paying for all the minutes, so your operational costs on that line are a bit higher than you might have for a local subscriber, but you more than make up for it by having the flexibility to deliver service in a much larger area without any capital cost up front. Anyway, if you already knew all of that, then thank you for watching all the way to the end. But if this is news to you, then hopefully that was helpful and has given you some ideas for how you might provide better service to your clients. I'll try to do some more of these videos as we continue through this pandemic and maybe beyond. If you have questions you'd like me to address, then let me know. Or if you have other topics that you're interested in hearing, then I'll try to record more of these. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot.